How does someone go from accusing the FBI of being part of a deep state conspiracy to becoming director of the FBI? The answer tells you a lot about American politics today. This is a story of Kash Patel. Kash Patel was born in Garden City, New York in 1980 to parents of Indian heritage whose family had previously fled persecution in East Africa before eventually settling in the United States. His path to the top wasn't typical. He began his career as a public defender representing people charged with serious crimes before becoming a federal prosecutor and eventually moving into national security. For years, almost nobody outside of Washington even knew his name. That changed when he joined Congressman Devin Nunes on the House Intelligence Committee. Patel helped write what became known as the Nunes Memo, arguing that the FBI had abused its surveillance powers during the investigation into former Trump campaign advisor Carter Page. Supporters called it proof that FBI had become politicized. Critics argued, omitted key facts and overstated its conclusions. Either way, the memo made Kash Patel one of Donald Trump's most closest national security allies. He went on to serve on the National Security Council, became Principal Deputy Director of National Intelligence, and later Chief of Staff to the Acting Secretary of Defense. After Trump left office, Patel didn't disappear. He became one of Trump's most outspoken defenders, appearing regularly in conservative media and writing the book Government Gangsters. In it, Patel argued that unelected bureaucrats and intelligence officials had formed what he called a deep state, working against elected leaders. He also identified dozens of public officials whom he believed were part of that system. Whether you agree with him or not, one thing is clear. Patel built his public reputation around the belief that powerful institutions, especially FBI and intelligence agencies, could not always be trusted. Yeah. Then came one of the biggest political ironies in recent American history. Donald Trump appointed Kash Patel to lead the FBI, the very agency he had spent years criticizing. Supporters, if they existed, saw it as a long overdue reform. Critics feared it would blur the line between law enforcement and politics. It did. Then another controversy emerged. In 2026, The Atlantic published a report citing numerous unnamed sources who alleged Patel's drinking had become a concern among people inside and around the FBI. The report described allegations of excessive alcohol use, unexplained absences, and occasions when senior officials reportedly had difficulty reaching him. Patel has categorically denied those allegations. He says he has never been intoxicated while performing his duties and has sued The Atlantic for defamation. At this point, those claims remain disputed. There's no public evidence establishing that Patel is an alcoholic, maybe just a video of him drinking like an idiot with a bunch of hockey players. However, when concerns are raised about the conduct of the FBI director, they are matters of legitimate public interest. Patel's personal life has also drawn attention. He's in a relationship with Alexis Wilkins, a country singer and conservative political commentator. Reporting has raised questions about government resources connected to Patel's travel and the security provided to Wilkins after she received threats. Those questions are fair subjects for public scrutiny, but then the internet took things much further. Some online commentators began claiming Wilkins was a honeypot, a foreign intelligence operative sent to influence Patel. Have you seen her beside him? Now, there's no publicly established evidence supporting those accusations. Wilkins has denied them and pursued legal action against some of the people who promoted those claims. And here's what I find remarkable. Patel spent years arguing that powerful people were secretly manipulating events behind the scenes. Now, that same style of conspiratorial thinking has turned against him. His own girlfriend became the target of an unsupported conspiracy theory. It's a reminder that once politics becomes driven by suspicion rather than evidence, eventually everyone becomes a suspect. In my opinion, I don't think the biggest story is the allegations about alcoholism. Those remain disputed, and Patel deserves the presumption that those allegations alone are not proof. I don't think the biggest story is the internet's conspiracy theories about his girlfriend either. The bigger story is the worldview. For years, Patel argued that hidden networks inside government were manipulating events from behind the scenes. Sometimes governments do make serious mistakes, and powerful institutions absolutely deserve scrutiny. But scrutiny is different from assuming conspiracy. Now, Patel leads the FBI, the agency responsible for conducting some of the nation's most consequential investigations. That position requires evidence, restraint, and independence. When someone who built a career challenging institutions becomes responsible for one of the country's most powerful institutions, it's fair to ask whether that skepticism will strengthen the FBI or whether it risks making every criticism look like part of a larger plot. Whether you see Kash Patel as a reformer or a partisan probably depends on your politics. But I think everyone should be asking the same question. Can someone who built a career questioning the FBI's integrity now convince the country to trust him to protect its own? That's the question that will define Kash Patel's legacy.